Hi, Erin here, and today I'm excited because I'm finally filming the first episode of Tea Talk. So here's how this works. In the morning, I try to steal a couple minutes to drink some tea and kind of unwind after my fitness classes, and I figured, why don't I use that time to answer some of you guys' questions? So a couple weeks ago, I posted online that I was gonna be doing this, and I had tons of people list questions. So today, as I drink my tea, we're gonna hope that my kids don't wake up and come running in, but they might. I'm gonna try to get through as many of these questions as I can, and every couple weeks, I'll film another segment and hopefully we'll get all of your questions answered. So first things first, what am I drinking? A lot of times in the morning, I just make my own really simple tea with lemon and I heat it up. It's just slices of lemon in here. I don't know if you can even see it. I don't want to spill it on myself. And sometimes I'll throw in a little bit of cayenne pepper because the heat's a natural fat burner, and a little bit of honey if I just feel like something sweet. But this morning, all it is hot lemon water, and it tastes really good. It's really cleansing. So there's my tea for the morning. And then I'm gonna get through the questions. I'm just gonna start with the first one I got and try to make my way down and keep it brief, because I know you don't wanna be sitting here hanging out with me all morning long. So let me take another drink. We'll just keep it really informal. And I won't use anybody's last name, but this first question is from Julia. And I get this a lot, so I'm gonna try to be as honest and as frank with you guys as I can, and you can take it or leave it, right? So this is Julia's question. She says, here's my burning question. I've been working out faithfully and eating clean with the exception of a few small cheats. For about a month now, I cannot shed the last 5 pounds. I'm definitely at a healthy weight, which I would assume if you were only trying to lose 5 more pounds, right? But I still feel and see extra pounds around my middle. I've had 4 kids, 4 C-sections, and she's also diabetic. Now, even if you haven't had all of those things, this still applies to so many of us, where we've got down to just the last 5 or 10 pounds, and we cannot seem to shed those last couple pounds. So let me start by saying this. Sometimes we think that we need to lose pounds on the scale, and it's not actually pounds that need to drop off of us to get us the body that we want. So sometimes when you look at yourself in the mirror and you notice extra soft spots and you think, oh, I need to lose 5 pounds, if you build up some more muscle mass and tighten and tone everything, you will get the look that you are thinking of, but you may not lose 5 pounds. You may stay the same, or heaven forbid, you may even go up just a few pounds because muscle weighs more than fat, but takes up less space, all right? Oh, I can hear my kids. If you hear banging, that's what it is. They're running around upstairs, so they must be awake. So let me get that out of the way first. Here's the second thing, and this is the part nobody wants to deal with, right? So one of the major things that I work with people on all the time when it comes to getting healthy and fit, honestly, this is one of the biggest hurdles, and it has nothing to do with what you eat or what you do for your exercise. It is being completely honest and real with ourselves and what we do and how we are living our lives. So that we do a lot of things that we don't admit to ourselves that we do, or we try not to think about, or we want things to be different than they are. And we won't accept the reality of, well, reality, right? So here's the first thing. When you are trying to lose just the last little bit of weight, you cannot have your little cheats. And you've got to get all your workouts in. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, I can't lose those last couple pounds, and you fall into the category where you maybe go out on the weekends and have some treats that you shouldn't have, or you go out to eat and have some things that aren't helping your waistline, right? Or you have a few glasses of wine in the evening time, and otherwise you're being really healthy, that will get you so far. But we're talking about the last 5 or 10 pounds, all right? You don't have room for those things anymore. So if you're doing something and it's not working for you, you need to switch it up, right? And change it up because it's not working. So if you've been keeping in your little glasses of wine at night, or you have been keeping in a few handfuls of M&Ms in the office, or you are still maybe missing some of your workouts during the week, you're not getting in 6 days of a good 45 to 60-minute workout, again, you gotta really evaluate yourself and be real with yourself. Then that's what you need to do. Now, it's not forever. It's much easier to maintain a healthy weight once you've got there than to get there, all right? So to squeeze off those last couple pounds, you don't have any room for mistakes. You don't have room for those little cheats. You don't have room for a little extra latte on the way to work for a couple weeks. Now, your weight loss is gonna be much slower when you just have a few pounds to lose. So you're looking at half a pound a week, maybe. You may have a week here or there where you've got more than that that you'll lose during the week. But you've got to give yourself a good 4 or 5 weeks of perfection to get those last couple pounds off. Now, when I say this, now's the time for you to evaluate yourself because we're really hard on ourselves, right? So if you're sitting around thinking, I have 5 or 10 pounds to lose, then now that I've told you that you got to be perfect to do it, you've got to decide if that's what you want to do. So are those 5 or 10 pounds worth it to you? Do you want to buckle down for 5 weeks and be absolutely perfect to get to that goal? Or is your latte on the way to work, or your wine with your girlfriends, or a weekend out and you get to eat what you want, are those things more important to you? And I'm not even going to tell you the right or wrong answer to that. If you're down to just the last 5 pounds, you're a healthy individual anyways, and you get to choose. So if it's more important to you right now to have those little cheats in there and you're otherwise a healthy person, then leave them in. But then realize that you're going to stay where you're at. If you really, really, really want to get those last 5 or 10 pounds off, then you've got to give yourself a couple weeks and be absolutely perfect. And the awesome thing is you get to make that decision for yourself. And there's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever is right for you. So I think I've talked long enough today. This is probably a long enough segment of Tea Talk. I'm going to try to get through the rest of those questions as we move through the next couple weeks. But I think that first one was the one that had the most people that were asking. Another thing too, I guess, that I need to throw in here right at the end. You need to be very, very perfect in your eating and your exercise. So when it comes to eating, what I mean by perfect, you've got to get all 5 or 6 small meals throughout the day. And the other thing that can shoot you in the foot a little bit is try and have most of your meals, make sure your portion sizes are dead on. And if you have questions about that, I talk about it a ton, but you can always message me. Your portion sizes have to be correct. You don't have room for cheats. And most of your meals should be protein and green vegetable based. All right? So sometimes we throw in a lot of extra healthy fats and even some extra fruits. But again, we're not talking about just overall health here. We're talking about those last 5 or 10 pounds, and that's a little bit of a different animal. So look at your diet. If you eat a ton of fruit, it's metabolized a little bit differently. Maybe you want to cut back on that just a little bit, just for a couple weeks. And if you eat a ton of nuts and a ton of avocados, lots of coconut oil, lots of dairy products, those are considered healthy fats, and they are definitely healthy. But if you're eating those for every one of your meals, that might be causing your body to hang on to some extra just 1 or 2 pounds. But for those last little bits, you got to be dead on. All right. So I hope that helps, and we'll see you next week.